So, I want to present you the Master of Science in Business Informatics, but first of all, I need to make two short comments. First of all, for the people who are online, I will answer to the question after my presentation, and I have to confirm that the chat is open till 7 p.m., if I'm not wrong. And the second thing is that I'm no more study advisor in business informatics. It's my colleague Hans-Georg Phil, who is currently in Stanford. So he greets you. And he gives me the high responsibility to present the slide he has prepared. So some danger. Okay, so my name is Marie-Louise Merv, and I will try to introduce you to the notion of business informatics. So, you know that there is a word called the enterprise who produce goods and services. And there is another word called called informatics, where we try to do something with a lot of data. This means that we need to make computer programs, we need to use information systems, and so on and so on. And between these two words, there is a poor guy trying to make the bridge between these two words. And this is the duty of the business informatics. So, now you have here the words big data, digitalization. So it's typically what we try to apply. So if I try to give you a little bit more information concerning these two words, in the case of business, what we try to do is to satisfy, of course, the customers, is, of course, to make profit. And sometimes we try to be sustainable. But on the other side, informatics try to propose all the structure, the informatic structure, the IT structure, with a lot of things. This can go from automation of machines till to information systems and the use of artificial intelligence. And in between, as we need to make the link, we'll try to do that thanks to models and methods. Models, because we need to model the enterprise. If we are able to do that, then we can see where there are potential improvements. We can see also, here we need to decide about several things. And in this case, what we do, we try to apply decision support systems. So you see, in this bucket, business informatics, there are a lot of things. Then, if I can give you one example, of course, I can give you a lot of details about this model created by my colleague Hans-Georg Phil, but what you can see is that we try to take into account several types of components. The activity of the enterprise, people like the partner of the enterprise, of course, the customer in blue, and so on and so on. So we can try to create a model, some kind of network, linking all the main elements in a system. And we can, in another step, using a little bit of artificial intelligence, we can try to, for example, create the best dimension of this ether. For example, you take into account several data, several information, like the size of the room, the size of the door, and so on, and you can create the most adapted element. Then, if we are looking at the different professions, the different activities, We have made a list here, and we are proud to say that one of our students has created its own company. So, Patrick Maillard, thank you. You see MIG, this is the abbreviation of Maillard Informatique de Gestion, but as the name was not really sexy, it changed recently. So, one thing is definitively sure. At the end of your study, you will have a job. So I confirm what Mark was telling. And this is more true after the COVID pandemic, because now everyone is aware that e-commerce is something important. So to create a good e-commerce system, you need computer and you need, of course, business informatics. Then, that was interesting that Mark told about salary, because I have some kind of...
I teach you there just for PhD.
yeah, for PhD. Now we are after. So this means that you can see that the mean values expressed here are rather interesting. So don't dream, this is what you will be able to receive. So now, before receiving such a salary, you need to study. So, in order to study, you need to follow the program you may offer. What we can see here is that we give in our master a huge importance to your personal growth. We have, of course, the master thesis, which 27 credits, but you need to make a leadership in a company. And this replaces the equivalent of 4 lectures. And then we have tried to propose you a program where you can define your profile. Of course, as we offer a Master of Science in Business Informatics, you need to have knowledge in business informatics. And even here we have 2 pillars, one which is dedicated to the data analytics and decision support, and another which is dedicated to technologies and modeling for digitalization. So on one side, decision, on the other side, technique. So what we ask you is to take at least 5 lectures inside of these 2 pillars. And then you have a choice. Either you want to have something which is business informatics, so you want to have a profile which is more in the direction of management. And in this case, you are allowed to follow 3 or 4 lectures in the different modules offered by the Master in Management, which is represented here by my friend Dick. And on the other side, if you prefer to have something which is more business informatics, then you have the possibility to choose the 23 remaining credits in computer science or in business informatics. I will give you now the proof that the contents of this different module are not empty. So you will see that you have a lot of choice for the different lecture. First, in the 2 pillars of business informatics, and here you have the list of the different lecture proposed in the joint master in computer science. You see that there is a lot of courses, but in fact what we do in this joint master, we have lecture from the University of Bern, the University of Neuchâtel, and the University of Fribourg, of course. Then, as we have seen that some people don't have all the knowledges in programming, my colleague Hans-Georg Fiel proposed also one lecture dealing with Python. So if you are not very easy, you will have the possibility to follow this lecture. it's more or less on demand. If there are people asking for that, Hans-Georg proposed a lecture. Okay, so one important thing I mentioned is this internship. So the idea is that you have some kind of experience before going in the real life outside of university. So the idea is that you contact a company and you try to build a proposal. Then these proposals need to be accepted by a professor. So this is normally very easy to do that. You define a topic and then you choose a professor which is specialist of this topic. Then you work in the company. And mainly this is very interesting jobs you will find. So this means that we ask you to be at least 12 weeks inside of the company. So this means more or less 60 working days full time. But sometimes you want to make your internship during the semester. So in this case, what you can do is to split and to say, okay, I will double the number of days and I will work half time. Then you need to write a final report. Okay, now in order to help you during this master in business informatics, so you have good arguments telling you that we are, of course, the best of the world. But the important thing is to see that you have 10 professors, one is missing, and we have complementary profile. This means that with all our knowledge together, we can go through all the topics in business informatics. So this is what you need to believe. Now, if you have questions, do not hesitate to contact my colleague Hans-Georg Phil. I let here the different information dealing with him. So note it's his email address, or you can find additional information on our website. Okay, as Mark, I will ask you, do you have questions? No questions? If you have questions, I will be at the stand just in front of this auditorium. No questions? So thanks a lot for your attention, and see you in a few minutes. Thank you.